Hello everyone, this is Mira again. Oop, why is my mouse there? With another matchup guide. This one's for Balrog. So I did, like, Ryu was kind of a tough matchup, and Zangief, some lords have a lot of trouble with, me included actually. But this one, we're gonna go over actually a good matchup. This is probably one of Laura's best matchups. And I just think, even though you're like, oh, I know this matchup really well, maybe there's something you might not know, or just a little refresher never hurts, right? So the first thing, as we always do, is talk about Thunderclap. And actually, this is a really key component of this matchup, because Rock actually doesn't have a very good answer for this, due to his crouch light kick being very sad. So let's just do So normally almost everybody's crouch light kick will go under fireballs if you do this crouch fierce and the thunderclap space trap. But you see there that actually trades. So this is going to lose. Low forward into Thunderclap is not a really good way to set up Thunderclap, due to like you can always get clipped out of it, but a bunch of other things, like, yeah, he will trade with you, and if you have super, you can actually get a super combo out of this. So I'm gonna have them jump. Yeah, it's kind of neat. And if your crouch light kick only goes like so far, so if you're around this range, he might be able to trade with you. But a lot of times he just has to hold that, and you're like, well, what about his other buttons? Do they match up well with it? No. So his sweep is kind of slow. You can work around like this kind of range, but if he's too slow with it, or you're at a really weird range, like he's gonna get clipped out of it. So this is the spacing, but like around here. But you can be outside that range, and if you're inside that range, he's gonna probably be clipped. It's just not a reliable thing for the Balrog to do. So like they might hit you out of it, it might trade, but a lot of times they're gonna be too slow, or the spacing is all wonky, and they're going to actually just get clean hit by the thunderclap, and you get a combo off of it. And they're like, okay, what about V skill 1? So this is even worse. So I'm doing like light, medium, thunderclap. He's just not. He doesn't travel far enough. The thunderclap doesn't travel far enough, and he gets hit clean a lot of the times. Crouch medium kick. That's some like Shoto's answers, for instance. No bueno. He's too thick. Too thick. He can't get under there. So learning to bully like with Thunderclap against Balrog until they like have a really good answer for it. Like there's like little things that they can do. Well, they can't jump at you. There's certain ranges, because Balrog doesn't have a cross up. Oh, that's not his jump in his jump roundhouse. Since he doesn't have a cross up, you can actually you don't have to worry too much about jump ins from certain ranges. So like I need you to wait a second so I can get in the spacing I want to, Balrog. So if you're like charging a thunderclap, yeah, in this range, he misses. But there's like certain situations if you're really close, like say you like tech a throw. Oh shoot. What is it? Jump medium kick? Yeah, jump medium kick. I've gotten hit by this before. They do like jump medium kick. Oh, that doesn't work. And it'll kind of hit you out of your thunderclap, and the thunderclap will dissipate. So let's pretend we teched, and oh wow. What? I'm not doing that the right spacing. I swear, I get hit out of this sometimes. You just have to be aware of what the Rog player knows and which situations that you can safely put thunderclaps on the screen. One thing you do have to be careful, a lot of Rogs will actually use B skill 2 in this matchup, because they won't have to charge dash punch, so they can kind of like walk around neutral, and then if they see you try to go for a thunderclap, like they'll just knock you out of it. It's more of the threat of like trying to preemptively stop your fireballs. And then there's another thing that they can do is upper, and they can actually get trade combos depending on how quick they are. Yeah. So they can get trade combos, but obviously if they're too slow on the upkeep, like, they're just gonna get hit. So you have to really be aware if the opponent has answers for that, but very few Balrogs do, and even if they do, it's very hard if you layer in thunderclaps and then you layer in that, and then being patient and neutral, your light bolt, and then like sand light kick, crouch medium kick buffers to try to harass him. So he has actually a lot to think about. Well, you really don't have to think about too much. Balrog is pretty linear. So obviously we're going to talk about dash punch, one of his greatest strengths. Now they got even better. They're all -4 now. Before, like, it was -4, like -6, -8, something like that. Crouch jab and a light bolt is your best punish. From farther ranges, if you have meter, you can super, obviously. So if they're doing a lot of dash punches, you can inch, like, walk and block to try to mess up with their spacing and get a punish. I mean, fireballs, if they don't have B skill 2 charge, thunderclap is a good wall to try to like stop them from moving forward that way. And also neutral jumping, it's a little risky, but it's good payoff, because they can also hold off on doing it and look for upper to snipe you out of the air. It's just giving your opponent a lot to think about, like adding to their mental stack of what options you've already showed them. They're going to be bogged down about, well, okay, they've done this before, they've done this, and if you cycle through your options, you're going to give that Balrog player a really hard time. And you also be very aware of what your opponent wants to do. Like, are they very aggressive? Are they very patient Balrog? Do they just down back a lot and wait for dash punches? Or are they doing like V-skill overheads, or like dash lows and like stuff like that? Because if they're doing a lot of dash punches, you can also, it's a little dangerous, but you can walk back to try to mess with their range as well, and get a whiff punish that way. You just have to be careful, because they might just walk with you, depending on if the Balrog is catching on that you're walking back on purpose to make their dash punches whiff. So, if they don't have V-skill charge or they don't have meter, around here is a pretty good space to stand against Balrog. And this is in part because you want to play like inside, outside of stand fierce range. The most common pokes Balrog will do is stand fierce, like crouch medium kick and crouch medium punch. Those are some of the most common, besides like jab buffers. But these are like the big pokes that they like to throw out. This is pretty whiff punishable. So you can definitely use a crouch medium punch or stand medium punch to whiff punish this. Or you can have your jab buffers. And then, yeah, crouch medium punch just matches up with Balrog's buttons pretty well. Crouch medium kick's kind of a tricky button to whiff punish. This is where stand light kick buffers really help you in this matchup, like standing around side this range and kind of like fishing for a stand light kick buffer. And then crouch medium punch as well. It's pretty good hitbox. So if you can react to it, crouch medium punch, or you like to use like stand fierce, but it's kind of tricky. it's a really hard button to whiff punish. So sometimes you might not even want to contest it, and you want to sit outside and just throw a fireball around this range. Because so you won't, kind of outside the range where you're not too close and you're not going to get stuffed. It's kind of like outside that range. And so, yeah, that's just little like places. This is where I like to stand, is right here, and just be like really aware of what buttons they like to hit. I really look for the stand fierce as my go-to with punish though. The great thing about this matchup, you can really play it how you can play it a very different ways. You can be pretty aggressive. You can be defensive and make them make mistakes, or set up a wall with your thunderclaps. It's a really good matchup for Laura. And when pressuring Balrog, I tend to go for a lot of normal throws, and a lot of buttons because they only have frame 3 like armor. V shift is a factor. And probably a lot of Balrogs, at least at the start of this meta, will probably tend to use it a lot against you because they really want to get away from Laura. So that's why I like stand short, and I don't know if I've talked about this before, but punishing a V shift break, right? Alright, I should have done this better. Yeah, I should definitely have done this better. Alright. 1. Alright. Are you gonna do V-shift break? So I'm meeting with Lice is important. If they commit to a V-shift break, you can try to react to that and V-shift their V-shift break. You're gonna be plus 10 or something around there, so you get a nice stand fierce punish. That's why like throws, throws and lights are gonna be your best friend. And just make sure like keep it tight. You're in a good matchup and you win neutral, so taking risks and pressure isn't really advised. I wouldn't do too many overheads or command grabs or stuff that's going to leave you punishable, because you can get that back in neutral with bully with thunderclaps and stuff like that. I would definitely pressure with a lot of like start with a lot of thunderclap like space traps. Oop, you're hitting buttons. To see how they deal with that, and I would continue pressure this way. This is how I would extend pressure until the Balrog presents an answer for them. And so what happens? Well, what if I lose neutral? I'm gonna there's a couple instances that I want to show to maybe get some punishes, or what common like scenarios what Balrog will do. So after normal throw, a very common meaty that Balrogs will do is light low rush. Alright, which one did? Alright, and if you can... Ooh, what the... Why didn't you do it? Oh, training mode. Training mode. Training mode. What are you doing? But yeah, if you V-shift this, if you do it successfully, not like I am, you can be like, depending on how meaty they do it and how fast you do it, you can be like, if they do it delayed, you're gonna be like plus 11, so you're not really gonna be in range for always for a light bolt. But that's where V-break comes in. You get to just knock them down for doing this, and do some Grey Life, and then you can set up a fireball. So instead of you being closer to the corner, you kind of regain that space. Super. Let's double check. I can't remember if super will reach. Probably. Yeah. So that's a punish as well. There's that. Honestly, I would just take a lot of throws from Balrog mid-screen. From that, there's like stuff like, so if they're autopiloting their strings a lot and you're like, oh wow, they're just canceling into like EX rush here. Oh, why are you, oh, you're jumping. So yeah, say that they're just autopiloting their strings and you're like, every time they do like this, and then into EX rush punch. V-shift is also good about blowing up dash punches as well. You can V-break it, and it should have enough invul to, yeah, it'll make it minus like 29. You can't do it on the cancel, but if you know this button, they do it a lot. Like, they cancel this button in a rush punch a lot. You can punish them that way. Heavy rush punch and medium are -4, and if they can make them. Ooh, which one did I do? 3, right? Yeah. So they can make it nice and spaced out. That is -4. But if they're full screen like this, you can actually V-shift it pretty easily. So it's a pretty good answer for this this long range harassment of rush punches. Another thing that some Balrogs will do, especially if they have V skill 2, I want you to not get knocked down, is being able to punish this V skill 2 charge. You quick rise, and then you can EX bolt it. So this is where learning how to quick rise and back roll against Balrog, depending on what V system they use, is very important. Only really EX bolt is going to reach, and knowing which knockdowns he can get them at and which ones he can't will be very important. You'll switch from him getting pressure to like charging up his V skill 2 to you hitting him and knocking him down, and you lose this at charge. It's very strong knowing when you can punish them for even attempting the V skill 2. That's why, like, if they're in like V skill 2 and they back up at the start of the round, they're gonna probably try to get their charge. Just walk and block with them, and kind of look for that to try to punish them with like a medium bolt or even a light bolt, depending on your range. That's walking blocking is important because they might be like, oh, I'm just going to do a dash straight because you're walking with me, and walking and blocking will try to mitigate that a little bit. Obviously, you might get hit, and that you're going to have to play this matchup like it's okay to get hit by a couple stray rush punches. It's going to happen. You're not going to be perfect. So I'm gonna talk about just a couple things like more. Is this V trigger? Ooh, he's in a. Yeah. Oops. I want to set this up better. How do I cancel this? Oh, he's in V skill 2, Mia. You silly. I was curious. Okay. So when they do something like this, they're actually interruptible. So a lot of times I'll be hitting a jab a lot during this pressure, so they don't reset me, or anything like that. So being aware of when them trying to like cheese with this V trigger cancel and a V skill, you just got to be vigilant so you don't get hit by an overhead into a lot more damage. But the main thing I really want to talk about is like just emphasizing, I know this is common knowledge, but crouch medium kick, and a V trigger is, why isn't it? Because he's not already in V trigger, Mia, duh. It's -2 though. This isn't plus. So if you ever see a Balrog activate like this, always hit your 3 frame. There's too many Balrogs that are still trying to get away with this, and please kill them for it. One last thing is V-Trigger 2. It's a pretty scary V-Trigger. Honestly, taking in the first command grab is honestly best because the situation that it puts you in, like, it's scary, but V-Shift will help you a little bit in that regard. You just have to remember that V-Shift benefits Balrog, but it also benefits you as well. And try never to forget that. Because a lot of times a common thing will be either like meaty EX Rush Punch, or walk up like button, or walk up oh. There we go. There we go. You can punish a lot of these with V-Shift break or V-Shift because of this. Oh wow. Sorry about the sloppiness. Yeah, but you're plus 16, you get a nice punish. It will lose to like a delay rush punch or something like that of that nature. So this isn't a foolproof plan, but it does give some variability to you waking up. You can mix that in with regular backdashing, jumping, blocking, mashing, and V-Shift. And so if you cycle those options, it's going to give your opponent a hard time pressuring you. Definitely block more often than not. It's just a public service announcement for me too. Yeah, blocking is underrated. And don't be afraid to, one more thing, when you're getting pressured, don't be afraid to V-reversal boxer. Because honestly, since it's a good matchup, you really don't need your V-trigger as much in this matchup. So just getting his pressure away and winning neutral a couple more times will benefit you than trying to, okay, I'm just going to try to eat this pressure. Oh, I'm in the corner, but I have V-trigger, so maybe I'll get out. Nope, I died. Instead of just V-reversing out and playing for a couple more hits. Try to really be comfortable in the neutral of this matchup because it is a good matchup and you want to try to be confident in it. So yeah, I think that covers it. Went on a little longer. I'm sorry for the for all the weird training mode difficulties, but I don't know. I like to show how my thought process and how I set these scenarios up, so maybe y'all can set up your own that you're having trouble with. Yeah, I think that's it. Bully Balrog, please. I love you guys. Be safe.